The balance of maritime power in Southeast Asia is quietly shifting, and the Philippines is preparing to take a major step forward. In recent developments that have drawn attention across the region, the Philippine Navy is moving closer to significantly strengthening its amphibious warfare and sealift capabilities. This progress marks more than just the acquisition of new ships. It represents a strategic evolution in how the Philippines prepares for defense, disaster response, and regional cooperation in an increasingly complex maritime environment. According to a recent interview aired on AFP Radio DWDD, senior officials revealed that the Philippine Navy is expected to receive the first of 2 brand new landing platform dock vessels, each measuring 124 meters, constructed by PAL Indonesia, as early as next year. These ships are designed to surpass the capabilities of the Navy's current amphibious vessels and will become a cornerstone of its modernization efforts. This development is not accidental. It is the result of long-term planning under the Armed Forces of the Philippines' modernization roadmap, particularly the Horizon 2 and Horizon 3 phases, which aim to transform the military from a primarily internal security force into one capable of territorial defense and regional operations. But what exactly do these new ships bring to the table, and why does their arrival matter so much? For many people, naval power is often associated with warships firing missiles or engaging enemy vessels at sea. In reality, the mission of a modern navy, especially for an archipelagic nation like the Philippines, goes far beyond combat. The Philippine Navy plays a crucial role in transporting troops and military equipment, conducting amphibious and joint operations, delivering humanitarian aid during disasters, supporting evacuation and relief missions, maintaining a forward presence in remote island groups. From typhoons and earthquakes to regional security concerns, the Navy must be able to move personnel and supplies quickly across thousands of islands. This is where amphibious ships, particularly landing platform docks, become indispensable. LPDs are not frontline combatants like frigates or destroyers. Instead, they function as mobile logistical hubs capable of carrying soldiers, vehicles, helicopters, landing craft, and relief supplies, often all at once. In short, they allow the Navy to project presence, respond rapidly, and sustain operations far from major bases. The Philippine Navy is no stranger to this type of vessel. Between 2016 and 2017, the Navy commissioned 2 Tarlac-class landing platform docks, also built by PAL Indonesia. These ships immediately became some of the most valuable assets in the fleet. Over the years, the Tarlac-class vessels have been used for military transport missions, large-scale amphibious exercises, disaster relief and humanitarian assistance, troop deployments to remote regions. Their performance validated the Navy's decision to invest in amphibious sealift capabilities. However, as operational demands increased and regional security dynamics evolved, it became clear that 2 LPDs were not enough. The Philippine Navy needed greater capacity, improved endurance, and enhanced survivability. And that led to the decision to acquire a new generation of amphibious ships. The new LPDs currently under construction by PAL Indonesia represent a refined and expanded design based on lessons learned from the Tarlac-class. At first glance, the difference may appear minimal. Tarlac-class length, approximately 123 meters, new LPD length, approximately 124 meters. However, in naval architecture, even small changes in hull length can translate into significant internal improvements. The redesigned hull allows for increased internal volume, better weight distribution, improved stability and endurance, enhanced survivability in rough seas. More importantly, the internal layout has been optimized to support modern amphibious and joint operations. According to available information from PAL's export specifications, the new LPDs are expected to feature several key upgrades over the existing vessels. The ships are reportedly capable of carrying up to 500 troops, complete with accommodations designed for longer deployments. This allows the Navy to transport an entire battalion-sized force in a single lift, an important capability for both military operations and disaster response. The new design supports the carriage of armored vehicles, military trucks, engineering equipment, humanitarian relief supplies. This makes the ships ideal for both combat support and civil military missions, such as rebuilding infrastructure after natural disasters. The arrival of two new 124-meter landing platform dock vessels is not just a matter of adding more ships to the fleet. It represents a deeper shift in how the Philippine Navy thinks, plans, and operates across the archipelago and beyond. To understand why these new LPDs are such a strategic game changer, we must look beyond their physical size and examine what they enable the Navy to do, operationally, strategically, and diplomatically. At its core, naval power is about mobility, presence, and sustainability. In all three areas, the Philippine Navy is about to gain a significant advantage. Once both new vessels are delivered, the Philippine Navy will operate 4 landing platform docks in total, 2 Tarlac-class ships and 2 newer, more capable 124-meter LPDs. This effectively doubles the Navy's strategic sealift capacity. Why does this matter? In an archipelagic country with more than 7,600 islands, the ability to move forces rapidly is not optional, it is essential. Roads and airfields do not always exist where they are needed most, especially during crises. Ships become the most reliable way to move large numbers of personnel, vehicles, and supplies. With 4 LPDs, the Navy can now conduct simultaneous operations in different regions, maintain 1 or more ships on standby for emergencies, support large-scale joint exercises without overstretching assets, sustain long-duration deployments without exhausting crews. This level of flexibility was simply not possible with only 2 amphibious vessels. One of the most visible and immediate benefits of these new ships will be in humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, or HADR operations. The Philippines is among the most disaster-prone countries in the world. Typhoons, floods, volcanic eruptions, and earthquakes regularly strike areas that are difficult to reach by land or air. Landing platform docks are uniquely suited for these scenarios. The new 124-meter LPDs can function as floating logistics hubs, mobile hospitals with onboard medical facilities, helicopter bases for rescue and evacuation, command centers for coordinating relief operations. With increased troop and cargo capacity, these ships can deliver more aid faster and remain on station for longer periods. Instead of relying on a single ship to cover an entire region, the Navy can deploy multiple LPDs to different disaster zones simultaneously, saving lives and accelerating recovery efforts. Beyond humanitarian missions, the new LPDs signal a strategic evolution in the Philippine Navy's doctrine. Traditionally, the Navy focused heavily on coastal defense and internal security. Today, the emphasis is shifting toward becoming a more expeditionary force, one capable of deploying and sustaining forces far from major bases. This is especially important in areas such as the West Philippine Sea remote island chains like Palawan and the Calayan Island Group forward operating areas during multinational exercises. Amphibious ships allow the Navy to establish temporary forward bases at sea, reducing dependence on fixed infrastructure that may be vulnerable or unavailable. In practical terms, this means the Navy can move troops closer to potential flashpoints, support sustained maritime presence operations, rapidly reinforce isolated outposts, conduct amphibious landings if required. This is a major step toward credible maritime deterrence. Another key advantage of the new LPDs lies in their ability to support joint operations involving multiple branches of the armed forces of the Philippines. Modern military operations are no longer conducted by a single service acting alone. Success depends on seamless coordination between naval, air, and ground forces. The new LPDs are designed to facilitate exactly that. They provide command and control spaces for joint task forces, communication systems compatible with air and land units, platforms for integrating helicopter and landing craft operations. This allows the Navy to serve as the central connector between different branches during complex operations, whether military or humanitarian. Perhaps one of the most strategically important aspects of these new ships is how they enhance interoperability with allied and partner nations. The Philippines regularly conducts exercises and operations with the United States, Japan, Australia, other ASEAN navies. Amphibious ships play a central role in many of these activities, particularly during joint landings, disaster response drills, and maritime security exercises. By fielding modern LPDs with standardized systems and layouts, the Philippine Navy makes it easier to host allied forces on board, coordinate amphibious maneuvers, share logistics and command responsibilities, participate meaningfully in coalition operations. This strengthens not only military capability, but also diplomatic and security partnerships. The decision to once again partner with PT PAL Indonesia is no coincidence, and it carries strategic significance beyond shipbuilding. PT PAL has already demonstrated its ability to deliver complex naval platforms to the Philippines on time and within budget. The success of the Tarlac-class program built confidence in the shipbuilder's technical competence and reliability. But continuity offers additional advantages. By working with the same builder, the Philippine Navy benefits from familiar design philosophies, simplified crew training, common maintenance procedures, shared spare parts and logistics chains. This reduces long-term operating costs and minimizes the learning curve for crews transitioning to the new ships. There is also a broader geopolitical dimension to this partnership. Defense cooperation between ASEAN nations strengthens regional self-reliance and reduces dependence on distant suppliers. It sends a message that Southeast Asian countries are capable of supporting each other's security needs. By sourcing major naval platforms from Indonesia, the Philippines reinforces regional defense ties, industrial cooperation, mutual strategic trust. This kind of collaboration is increasingly important in a region marked by strategic competition and uncertainty. From a practical standpoint, having 4 LPDs with similar design routes simplifies operational planning. Commanders can plan missions knowing that ship capabilities are broadly comparable, crews can rotate between vessels more easily, and maintenance schedules can be standardized. This consistency allows the Navy to focus less on managing limitations and more on maximizing operational effectiveness. It also opens the door for future upgrades to be applied across the fleet, creating a more uniform and capable amphibious force. According to information shared during the AFP Radio DWDD interview, the first new 124-meter LPD is expected to arrive by mid to late 2026, with the second following not long after. This timing is critical. It aligns closely with the Philippine Navy's transition into Horizon 3 of the AFP Modernization program, a phase focused on strategic deterrence, force survivability, and enhanced operational reach. Rather than starting Horizon 3 with aging platforms, the Navy will enter this phase with new, modern, and highly flexible amphibious ships already in service. As regional maritime competition intensifies, even support ships like LPDs must be prepared to operate in more challenging conditions. There are growing indications and persistent rumors that the new LPDs may be fitted with improved self-defense systems, potentially exceeding those found on the Tarlac-class. While official confirmation remains limited, possibilities include enhanced close-in weapon systems, short-range air defense missiles, and improved electronic warfare and countermeasure suites. If implemented, these upgrades would significantly increase the survivability of the ships, allowing them to operate closer to contested areas when necessary. Taken together, the acquisition of these 2 new LPDs represents more than a procurement decision. It is a statement of intent. It signals that the Philippines is serious about defending its maritime interests, responding effectively to crises, working closely with allies, and building a navy suited for modern challenges. These ships embody the shift from a reactive force to one that is mobile, flexible, and forward-looking. In Part 3, we will look ahead, examining what these new LPDs could mean for the future of the Philippine Navy, including potential upgrades, long-term force development, and whether this move could pave the way for even larger amphibious platforms in the years to come. With 2 new 124-meter landing platform docks set to join the fleet, the Philippine Navy is not merely closing a capability gap, it is laying the foundation for a new era of maritime operations. To fully appreciate the importance of these ships, we must look beyond their immediate roles and consider what they represent in the long term. Naval modernization is never about a single platform. It is about building an ecosystem of capabilities that reinforce each other over time. The arrival of these new LPDs is a catalyst, one that could shape Philippine naval doctrine, force structure, and regional posture well into the next decade. Traditionally, amphibious vessels were viewed primarily as logistical assets, important but secondary to frontline combat ships. That perception is rapidly changing. In modern naval strategy, amphibious platforms are increasingly seen as strategic enablers. They provide commanders with options to deploy forces without relying on fixed bases, to sustain operations in austere environments, and to respond quickly to unforeseen events. The new 124-meter LPDs give the Philippine Navy precisely that kind of flexibility. With enhanced troop capacity, aviation facilities, and command spaces, these ships can act as forward staging bases, support multi-domain operations, sustain forces during prolonged deployments, serve as command hubs in joint and coalition missions. This elevates their role far beyond transport. It places them at the center of future naval operations. As maritime security challenges become more complex, survivability is no longer optional, even for support ships. The waters surrounding the Philippines are increasingly crowded and contested. Any major naval platform must be able to protect itself long enough to complete its mission. While official specifications remain limited, there is growing discussion around equipping the new LPDs with more robust defensive systems than their predecessors. Potential enhancements may include close-in weapon systems, CIWS, for last-ditch defense, short-range surface-to-air missiles, improved radar and electronic warfare systems, decoy launchers and countermeasure suites. If implemented, these features would allow the ships to operate with greater confidence in higher-risk environments, reducing their reliance on constant escort by combatants. This shift reflects a broader trend. Even non-combat ships must be prepared for modern threat scenarios. The addition of these LPDs also complements other ongoing and planned acquisitions within the Philippine Navy. A balanced fleet is not defined by having the most powerful warships, but by having the right mix of capabilities. Frigates, corvettes, patrol vessels, and amphibious ships all serve different, but interconnected roles. With 4 LPDs in service, the Navy gains a reliable sealift backbone platforms for joint operations, assets that multiply the effectiveness of other units. Frigates and patrol ships can secure sea lanes, while LPDs deliver and sustain forces ashore. Aircraft extend surveillance and strike range, while amphibious ships enable presence and persistence. Together, they form a more cohesive and resilient force. One of the defining characteristics of the Philippine Navy is its dual responsibility, defending national sovereignty while also supporting civil authorities. The new LPDs are ideally suited for this dual role. In peacetime, they can support disaster relief and recovery, medical outreach missions, evacuation operations, infrastructure support in remote communities. Their ability to bring heavy equipment, medical facilities, and helicopters directly to affected areas makes them invaluable during national emergencies. In times of heightened tension, the same ships can quickly transition to military roles, transporting troops, supporting amphibious operations, and reinforcing strategic locations. This versatility ensures that the investment delivers value across a wide range of scenarios. New platforms also drive changes in training and doctrine. Operating 4 LPDs will require expanded amphibious training programs, more specialized crew qualifications, enhanced coordination with Marine and Army units, greater emphasis on joint planning and execution. This has long-term benefits for the armed forces as a whole. As crews gain experience operating advanced amphibious platforms, institutional knowledge grows. Best practices are refined, doctrine evolves. Over time, this creates a more professional, capable, and confident force, one that can adapt to new challenges and technologies. As discussed earlier, interoperability with allies is a major advantage of these new ships. Looking ahead, this capability becomes even more important. Future multinational exercises and operations are likely to increase in complexity, involving larger amphibious landings, integrated air and sea operations, coordinated humanitarian responses. The new LPDs provide the Philippine Navy with platforms that can plug seamlessly into these efforts. They can host allied personnel, support combined command structures, and operate alongside foreign amphibious forces, enhancing both capability and credibility. This positions the Philippines not just as a participant, but as a meaningful contributor to regional security efforts. Naturally, the arrival of more capable LPDs raises an important question. Is this a stepping stone toward even larger amphibious platforms? While there are no official announcements, the logic is compelling. As operational experience grows and strategic requirements evolve, future planners may consider larger multi-role amphibious ships, dedicated amphibious assault vessels, platforms with expanded aviation capabilities. Such ships would represent a significant leap in capability, but they would also require substantial investment and careful planning. For now, the focus remains on fully integrating and maximizing the potential of the 124-meter LPDs, but their success could very well shape future decisions. What stands out most about this acquisition is how measured and deliberate it is. Rather than pursuing overly ambitious or unsustainable programs, the Philippine Navy is building capability step by step, learning from experience, maintaining continuity, and focusing on platforms that deliver real operational value. Choosing a proven partner, refining an existing design, and aligning delivery timelines with broader modernization goals all point to a mature and strategic approach. This reduces risk while ensuring steady progress. By the late 2020s, the Philippine Navy could find itself in a very different position from where it stood just a decade earlier. With modern frigates, improved patrol capabilities, and a strengthened amphibious force, the Navy will be better equipped to protect national interests, respond to crises quickly, support allies and partners, maintain a credible maritime presence. The new LPDs will be at the heart of this transformation, quietly enabling operations, supporting missions, and extending the Navy's reach. The acquisition of 2 new 124-meter landing platform docks from PAL Indonesia is more than a fleet expansion. It is a signal that the Philippines is investing in mobility, flexibility, and resilience. A signal that amphibious capability is central to national defense and disaster response. And a signal that the Navy is preparing not just for today's challenges, but for tomorrow's uncertainties. As these ships enter service, they will shape how the Philippine Navy operates, cooperates, and responds across the maritime domain. The question now is not whether they will make a difference, but how far their impact will reach. What do you think about the Philippine Navy's direction and its continued partnership with Indonesia? Could this be the foundation for even more ambitious platforms in the future? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more updates on Philippine defense and military modernization. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.